Hey folks, Alex here, 95 to Freedom. In today's video, we're going to talk all Wpay. Wpay has been a huge part of my portfolio. I've been documenting on this channel my journey investing into high yield dividends, which if that's something you're interested in, make sure you follow me along, subscribe to this channel. Today's video, we're going to do a dive into Wpay, its underlyings, and to figure out if there is Nav erosion. Now, part of the problem is that Wpay does not have enough data points. It's only been released in September, and we can't go back even a year to see its performance against its underlyings or just the total stock market. So what I did is I've manually did a back test of the underlyings and the holdings that Wpay has, all those leverage weekly funds, and we're going to compare in this video and see how it's been performing so far. So without further ado, let's get started. And if you're new to this channel, make sure you check out all of the content I have listed in the description page. I have links to my Discord channel, so make sure you check that out as well and join the community where you can engage and share your knowledge or ask questions. So let's hop right into it, folks. We'll start out with Wpay here. This is from Roundhill. Looks like distribution rate right now is at 59.71%. Now, this is the largest question in this space of high yield dividends is, can we receive this large amount of distribution and keep our NAV? That is the investor's dream, right? We don't want to eat at our NAV to get a distribution. We don't want to be getting our own money back. And we've seen a lot of funds that have failed, and folks are leaving them like a sinking ship. A lot of funds from YieldMax have done that. So I'm just going to be candid here. But this fund, Wpay, it's different. It's not a covered call fund. It does swaps, and it's leveraged at 1.2 times on the underlyings. Expense ratio is at 1.28%, and we already have $540 million in AUM. Launch date was September 4th, so like I said, not much history there on this fund. Now, these are the positions that it's holding. You can see all of the weekly payers. We have Amazon, Google, Apple, Berkshire Hathaway, and Nvidia. We got Broadcom, Robinhood, Microsoft, AMD, Palantir, and there's others. So the question is, right, how do we backtest this? How do we see if we're actually experiencing NAV erosion? One of the issues we had this previous week is we've seen how much of a hit Wpay took. All the tech stocks really took a huge hit. So if I just look at the performance here now, today is super green day. We know that we bounced back. I really wanted to make this video yesterday before we have this recovery, but regardless, if we look at the 1 month chart, we can see we would bounce back. But look how low we got. We went under our launch price of $50. So that was a huge concern for the community. A lot of folks are like, well, you don't know if it's going to have NAV erosion or not. And, you know, that's our hope really, is does it have the capability to uphold its NAV and pay that great dividend of 60%, which is just insane, right? So this is the application that I used, testful.io. I have a link to this. I've set this up and I provided a link in the Discord community. It'll be under the Roundhill channel, so make sure you check that out. If you click on that link, and I'll have this link also in the description of the video as well. This is a pretty cool online free application. So what you can do is you can build any portfolio in here with any underliers, and you can go ahead and do a back test of any specific dates that you're interested in. Now, a lot of these single weekly funds, a lot of them came out throughout the year. So even though I selected January 1st here, it's only going to start to run this back test from I guess the most recent fund that was launched this year, that's inside of Wpay. So and that gets us around July timeframe. So if I do this, if I just run this back test, and like I said, I entered January 1st, and I'm going to run it till the end of last week, Friday, another red day that we had here. I'm not even going to include today. because the market just opened up. So we're just going to look at that. So it gives you here, if I zoom in here, you can see here, it gives you the summary. So Wpay, if we were to invest $100,000, Wpay would end at $93,000. QQQI, which is one of my favorite funds. I don't invest in it right now, but this is something I'm going to invest in long term in my portfolio. You can see this one would give you a 2.93% return over Wpay negative 6.65. And then the underlying. So what is the underlying? The underlying is basically all of those weekly payers. I just took the actual stocks that they're holding, that they're doing the swaps on, and that is the portfolio that we're comparing that to. So you can see how the underlying is now showing $111,000, which will give you a return of 11.36%, and the S&P 500 will give you 5.76%. Now, at first, like I said, this will go back to July the 24th of this year, because Wpay does not. The underlyings of the Wpay does not go back to January 1st. Some of those funds, most recent one came out in July 24th. Now, at first, you're going to see here that, okay, well, according to this chart, Wpay actually is a loser, and the winner here will be the underlying, those positions that those weekly funds hold. But there's a button here, and I'll show you here, and that is total return. So this would include all dividends and distribution. So if I hit this across all of these tabs, we're going to do the same exact back test here. Let's see here. We're going to run that, and look how different everything's starting to look now. Wpay value is now the highest, cumulative return of 12%. Again, back to July 24th of this year. QQQI at 6.6%. The underlying at 11.43%, and S&P 500 at 6%. You can see how, counting in those dividends, how everything has changed. And Wpay actually beat its underlying holdings. Now, again, we're only looking at a specific date in time. So as we can't go back that far, further than July 24th, let's just pick a random date just for the heck of it. Let's go to August, let's say 14th. And I don't know what happened on August 14th, but we'll do a back test from August 14th. We'll just see how that changes. Okay, so in this scenario here, again, Wpay will get you a 6% return. QQQI will get you a 4%. Underlying will get you 6.27. So in this scenario, the underlying would actually beat Wpay. And S&P 500 at 4.32%. So not too shabby, pretty cool. Now let's pick one more date, and then we're gonna do a different experiment, and I think you like that as well. So we'll go into, let's just go into October 2nd, for example, just to get another sample here of our performance. So Wpay here will get you a negative 1%, QQQI a positive 0.36, underlying negative 3.3%, and S&P 500 positive 0.26%. Okay, so this was probably a red day for the underlyings. We just picked that. Now, what do I want to do next? Well, next, what I want to do is I want to see, first off, let's go back to July 24th. I'm going the wrong way here. And we're going to go into today's date, which today's a green day. I don't know if it's going to have that information or not, but let's see if it does. Let's see, is that going to give us on the chart? Yeah, see, it doesn't. Let's see, what day is this? Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to count in. Yeah, so it goes as far as the 7th. So, okay, so the next test I wanted to do, since this underlyings that Wpay has, since they can go back to the beginning of the year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this whole portfolio, the Wpay portfolio, and that way I can just compare the underlying, and again, we saw that they go hand in hand. As far as data points that we just went through, those 3 data points, They're very similar performance here, which is really cool. So now we're going to compare all the way back from January 1st of 2025. Again, I'm going the wrong way. To today's date, and we're going to see how the underlyings, which have been around as long, they've been around for many years, and we're going to compare that to QQQI and to SPY, and then that should be able to tell us approximately what kind of performance we would have seen if we would have bought into Wpay if it was available January 1st of this year. And we're going to run this again. It's going to probably show us up until the 7th of November. Okay, so here we have it. Look at this, folks. This is very cool. We have QQQI at 16.6% return, the underlying at 45.94%. That is insane. And S&P 500 at 15.77%. So you can see how the underlying just blew S&P 500 and QQQI out of the water on this. Now, again, this is just a scenario of the underlying. We have yet to get more information on Wpay to see how it's going to perform in the next year or so. But obviously, a lot of these holdings that Wpay has have not performed really well throughout the year. I mean, one of them I know for a fact is MSTR. So like if we go in here and we can add another ticker, so we can go in here and we can say MSTR, and we can just compare that for the year, and we can see how that has performed. And this is really cool application, folks. Everybody should check it out. You can do all your back tests. It's really cool. Okay, here we go. Here's MSTR, folks. MSTR, well, you would have lost 19% of your money if you would have invested into MSTR in beginning of the year and held it all the way until last week. So you can see like a ticker like that would bring something like Wpay down. And again, this is another case for, well, maybe we should build our own Wpay just with the weekly pairs. And if we don't believe in MSTR, let's just knock it out of the portfolio and build our own portfolio. So that's something I've been kind of thinking about. But there's other ones in here. I think, let's see, I don't think Netflix did really well. So let's replace this with Netflix, and we'll see how that performs. Okay, so I gotta rename this. Okay, here we go, Netflix. Well, actually, Netflix had a green year if you would have bought at the beginning of the year. So, yeah, so really cool. I think this gives a good case for, with the data points, again, from what we've seen from July 24th of this year up to November 7th, if we're able to test with those weekly holders to build this Wpay inside of the backtest mechanism, we can see that hand in hand it's tracking the underlyings, and the underlyings as a basket have done exceptionally well this year. Now, one thing to be cautious about, obviously, is the fact that Wpay's positions, all these weekly pairs are very heavy into tech and into AI. So that's just something to be cognitive about. But this is, I think, a very, very hopeful, case for Wpay, that it's able to support its NAV from what we're seeing so far. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of Wpay or the weekly funds. What are your favorites? What are the ones that you think are dogs in here? And also check out the Discord community. Make sure you hop over there and say hello and check out some of the channels we have in there. And subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. Really, folks, I'm just trying to build up this channel. So your subscription, your engagement would really help it go a long way. So have a great Monday, folks. I'll probably have another video today, just an update on the market. Take care.